Congress has to keep it funded. Otherwise, states have to put projects on hold, put construction workers back on the unemployment line. The good news is Democrats and Republicans are about to pass a short-term fix that will keep funding going for about another 9 or 10 months. And I support that. I mean, the least we can do is just support the jobs that are already there, keep Americans on the job. But if that's all Congress does, then we're going to have the same kind of funding crisis 9 months from now. And that's not how normally you fund infrastructure, because you got to plan it. You got to think about, you know, how are we helping folks, and how are we helping states and cities and municipalities, you know, create, you know, plans for the future and make sure that the funding streams are level. We don't need unhelpful and unnecessary deadlines that crunch a few months from now. And we shouldn't have been this close to the deadline in the first place. As your governor has pointed out, even smaller transportation projects can take years to design and plan and build. A few months of funding doesn't cut it. And so Jack said to call this a Band-Aid is an insult to a Band-Aid. That's a pretty good line. I'm gonna have to try that out. So Congress shouldn't be too proud. It shouldn't pat itself on the back for kicking the can down the road every few months. Instead of barely paying our bills in the present, we should be planning and investing in our future. That's how the economy grows for everybody. The American people work hard every single day, and your efforts shouldn't be threatened every few months by a manufactured crisis in Washington. Everything doesn't have to be done at the last minute every time. So what I've done is, earlier this year, put forward a plan to rebuild our transportation infrastructure in a long-term, responsible way. A plan that would support millions of jobs, would give cities, states, and private investors the certainty they need to hire more workers faster. It would help small businesses ship their goods faster. It would help parents get home from their commute faster so they can see their kids. And it wouldn't add to what is already a rapidly shrinking deficit, because we pay for it in part by closing loopholes for companies that are shipping profits overseas and are avoiding paying their fair share of taxes. So that's what we need, a broad-based plan. We got $2 trillion worth of deferred maintenance in this country, in roads and bridges and sewer systems and water mains. We could put a lot of people back to work right now getting that done. And we're gonna have to do it eventually anyway. But so far Congress has refused to act on the idea, which is strange because infrastructure should not be a partisan issue. You think about it. It was a Republican, Dwight Eisenhower, who built the interstate highway system. Lincoln built the Transcontinental Railroad. Both parties historically have understood that investing in this country for the long run pays off. When we invest in infrastructure, we're making sure that the economy is growing not just for the next 5 years, but for another century. That's what, right now, Republicans in Congress don't seem to be focused on. But until they do get focused on it, I'm going to do whatever I can to create jobs, rebuilding America on my own. So today, we're launching what we call the Build America Investment Initiative. And as part of it, we're creating a one-stop shop for cities and states looking to partner with the private sector to fund infrastructure projects. There are lots of investors who want to back infrastructure projects because when it's done right, they then get a steady long-term investment. They get a steady return. And lots of states and local governments would welcome more private investment, but they need a partner in the federal government to help do some matchmaking and work through some of the complexities of private financing of infrastructure. So my administration is going to help states and cities apply for federal loans, get more public-private partnerships up and running, get more investment flowing in communities like Wilmington. And this builds on other actions we've taken to speed up the permitting process for big projects and attract new manufacturing jobs to America and raise more workers' wages, help women fight for fair pay, ease loan burdens for millions of students. We're taking steps on our own, still hoping that Congress at some point actually does something. You know, I keep hearing from folks all across the country who tell me, If members of Congress had the same priorities that most Americans do, if they felt the same sense of urgency that you feel in your own lives, we could help a lot of families right now. Instead of playing politics, we should be creating jobs by investing in what makes our economy strong. This is infrastructure and manufacturing and energy and research and development and education. All these things lead to new industries. We should be training our workers to fill new jobs. We should be preparing our kids to face global competition. We should be making sure that hard work pays off with a higher minimum wage. We should be seizing these opportunities. And there's a simple principle behind it. When the middle class does good, and when people have ladders in the middle class, if they work hard, everybody does better. You have more customers for businesses. Folks at the very top do better. America grows best from the middle out, not from the top down. That's when we succeed. So I'm going to keep on looking for areas where Republicans and Democrats agree to move this country forward, but I'm not going to stand by when politics and inaction are holding us back. Wherever and whenever I have a chance to help families like yours, I'm going to do it. When I have a chance to help communities like Wilmington, I'm going to do it. That's when my administration takes these executive actions, when Congress won't act. You know, and so far, the only response we've gotten from the Republicans is a lawsuit. You know, they're suing me for doing my job instead of going ahead and doing their job. That's disappointing. It's a political stunt. And by the way, they're using taxpayer money to do it. It's your money that they're wasting on this, which no serious lawyers thinks makes any sense. It's just a political stunt. We could be using the time, energy, and effort and money to help your families. And maybe the folks behind this think it'll help them politically. I guarantee you it's not helping you. We could do so much more. If we rally around a sense of patriotism that says, we can disagree on issues once in a while, but come on, let's focus on our country. Let's focus on our people. A sense of common purpose. The understanding we rise or fall as one nation and as one people. That's how we built this country together. And that's what Washington has to remember. And the one thing I know for certain, if we work together, if we believe in one another, then we're going to keep on rebuilding our middle class. We're going to restore the American dream for the next generation. We will continue to make sure that America is the place where no matter what you look like or where you come from or how you started, you can make it if you try. You've shown it here in Delaware. We can show it all across the country. We just need a little more focus in Washington. So keep the pressure on, everybody. Thank you. God bless you. Let's build some bridges. Let's build some roads. God bless America.